The Saviour can solve every problem. The tangles of life can undo. Because there's nothing too hard for Jesus. There's nothing that he cannot do. Now, I remember when I get saved, some people say, you know, whenever you get saved, all your troubles are over. Don't you believe it? Don't you believe it? Even after you get saved, you'll still have problems. I remember after I got saved, I had a big problem. And I'll tell you one of my biggest problems. My biggest problem was my work. You see, before I was a Christian, I was the ringleader in all the devilment in my Dole's boot factory. If there was a card school, we saw me Workman started it. If there was money to be lifted for a raffle, I was already lifting it. And I was the ringleader in all the devilment. And I was saved on the 14th of January 1950 in my own bedroom after coming out of a dance in the Ballymena Town Hall. Now I had to go back and live in that home, and I had to still go back and work in that factory. God doesn't kill you, you know, take you away to heaven after you're saved. And I used to think, after I got saved, now how am I going to tell these boys I work with that I've become a Christian? And there was one fellow in particular, he was called Ivor McMeekin. I can speak freely of Ivor, thank God he's in heaven tonight. But Ivor, you see, and I used to chum about together. And Ivor had a wee bit of stoppage in his speech. And you know, after we would work, we would go at night down to the second house of the pictures, as they call it. And we would be working overtime. We'd come out of the factory and we would fly down to get to the second house of the pictures. And as I would be flying down, I would say to Ivor, here Ivor, there's the money, you get the tickets. Now Ivor, as I tell you, had a wee stoppage in his speech. And when we were going to, wait a wee minute, Workman. You get the tickets. Because by the time I asked for the tickets, the picture would be over, he says. Now that was my friend Ivor. That was my friend Ivor. Well, I got saved in the Saturday night. And on the Monday morning I determined I would get into that factory and I would take my stand for Christ. And Ivor and I were working at the bench. And we were cobbling together. And Ivor turned and he said, well, Workman, we got the pub on Saturday night. I says, no, Ivor, as a matter of fact, I wasn't at the pub. I was at a gospel meeting. You were what? You were what? Ivor, I was at a gospel meeting and I got saved on Saturday. You what? And I thought, boys, wait to hear this bit of cursing comes now. Do you know, I'll never forget. Ivor McMeekin turned and a big tear came into his eye. And he came over and he reached out his hand and said, Workman, I want to shake your hand. I wish to God I had the courage to do what you did. And if there's a man or there's a woman in this meeting tonight, and you're scared to get saved, and you think that the place you work, you could never be a Christian, you could never live as a Christian, I want to tell you, friends, you come to Jesus tonight, for he's the Lord, he's the God of all flesh. There's no problem that he cannot solve. And if you're a woman here, let me say this, love. There's no pressure of the mind that he cannot heal and he cannot scatter. We had in our church at Abbott's Cross a lovely young married woman called Betty. If I mentioned her second name, many of you would know her. Betty used to sing for me at meetings. After Betty's third child, she went into deep depression. She became suicidal. And her husband Roy didn't know what to do with her. The first contact I had actually with them, was one night Roy came down to me and he said, Mr. Workman, will you come down and we'll go round the loch shore together? Betty's gone out and I think she's gone and thrown herself into the sea. And I went round the loch shore looking for Betty. But about 12 o'clock, and it was a snowy night, Betty wandered back home soaking wet. Where were you, Roy says. I was walking to heaven, she said. I was walking to heaven. Poor woman in her state of mind. And Betty, well, finally she had to go in to Tober-Naveen in Antrim. And the strange thing was, she was so mixed up in her mind that she wouldn't even let her husband Roy take her. And I had to get the car out and take her down to Tober-Naveen. And I left her in that hospital, and when I was coming out the door, the Lord just seemed to say, Sam Workman, shame on you. You believe in divine healing, and you've left a member of your own congregation there in that home. And I went back in, laid hands on Betty and prayed with her, and asked God to heal her mind. Betty Williamson never had another breakdown in her mind. She used to sing round all the meetings for me. Betty's out in Canada today, and the Lord has abundantly blessed her. And she is in perfect health and strength, and has got a sound mind. Look, is there someone here tonight, you're down and you're depressed? Do you know the Lord could heal you tonight? The Lord could keep you in perfect peace if only you'd stay your mind on Him. Why? Because He's the Lord. He's the God of all flesh. There's nothing too hard for Him. There's no problem He cannot solve. There's no pressure in your mind that He cannot scatter. And last of all, there's no person that He cannot save. Now you're in this meeting tonight and you're not a Christian. And you know you're not a Christian. You know you're not a Christian. And you're not against being saved. You believe in it. You know as well as you're sitting there, you'll need to be saved before you die. And you don't need me to ram down your throat tonight that you need to give your life to Christ. You've known that since you were at Sunday school. But you're thinking, ah, Sam Workman, it's all right for you. But you don't know me. And you don't know how weak-willed I am. And I'd love to be saved, but I wouldn't be able to keep it. Let me finish. God is able to keep you. No matter what your situation may be in the present, He's able to save you and He's able to keep you.